Well, good evening there, and welcome to issue 31. And in this issue we're going to tackle the Aquarius rabbits, and as you can see on the caption before, those are the dates you have to fall in. A little bit of a confusing one here, so you have to watch them dates ever so carefully to make sure you definitely match up with this combination, or you may be this combination and you didn't think you were. So really check those thoroughly. Well, let's start with this combination. We're going to start as a child, as we do, and you're not going to have a terribly academic child, one that's going to thrive through school, but you're going to have one that is very streetwise and very manipulative, and also a very lateral thinker. Will come across problems and they'll do it their way, you know, they'll do it subtly and they'll do it quite cleverly, and you know, not your run-of-the-mill sort of attacker of any sort of subject. They will go about it their way, and they will be quite successful in that sense. But as I say, you're not going to get a truly academic child here. That's just not their way. Their way is to get by and to get through, as we've talked about with the rabbit. The rabbit are the hunted. They are the most hunted of the Chinese zodiac. From them, where do they go? You know, if you attack the rabbit, what does the rabbit then attack? The grass. So, you know, the way you've got to look at, they have to use what they've got, and they use it very well. And what they've got is guile, manipulation, freedom of thought, in the sense of, as I say, they have to think quite a lot more than some of the other signs do. And with the Aquarian, the little bit of eccentricity and the ego coming in does make them quite an unusual character, but one that you always spot. They look a bit of a wide boy as they go through into their teenage years. They look a bit of a Jack the Lad about town, but nobody really knows them, because they don't really let anybody in as such. They have lots of friends they can talk to, and they will be good at talking. They can empathise really quite well. They are a very good shoulder to lean on, but as somebody really knowing them, that's a very difficult and a tricky one, because they're always got to have a little bit of the guard up, and this is the rabbits through life. The Aquarian won't diminish that too much either, because the Aquarius is quite suspicious of all human types of behaviour, in the sense of they're not money grabbers, they're not looking to material gain, so they are looking for worldly solutions, but maybe simply, you know, how can we grow more food, how can this work better, how can, you know, how can we make this simpler, how can we make the queuing system simpler, just little things like that. They will be thinking about these things, and also about protecting themselves, because as I say, they're not armed with what a lot of the other signs are. You know, they haven't got brute force, they haven't got outward aggression. If you do push one, they will likely run. You know, you can't push them into a corner, because, you know, you won't get anywhere. They don't respond to pressure at all. And the child is like this, and the teenager is like this. Not very fond of exams, this sign, at all, because there's a feeling of pressure, and there's a feeling of you know, having to conform a little in that scenario, and they tend to retreat a little bit and probably not do as well as some of the others may do. But you know, that's what this combination's been. That's the cards it's been dealt with, and but it does get through. You know, they will have a lot of deals going on. What job they do, they're very capable of getting through, building. But maybe one that organises a little bit the building. You know, quite intricate thinkers in that sense. So that would work well for them. And also anything to do with structure, in the sense of you know, ground level, roadworks, house, you know, foundations, things like that. May even be sort of a heavy machinery driver as well, somewhere where they they are part of the team, but they've also got that little bit where they can, you know, they can keep back. They're in their own little world. Not particularly fantastic mixes in a big gang scenario. So you'd have to watch that a little. Maybe, you know, give them a problem and say, well, how do we solve, you know, sorting this pipe work out and stuff like that, and let them crack on, and you know, they'll be fine like that. As I say, they do get through, and they get through very well. Sometimes they have their fingers in a lot of pies, and by that I mean that they will be prone to doing deals, and they will be prone to having their finances going up and coming down just as quick. Up, down. That's what you've got to get used to with this sign, because as soon as they've got it, the next deal can go wrong. So that's the way they are, that's the way they roll, because it keeps them on their toes. They like to keep their mind active. A rabbit who hasn't got anything ticking over in their mind becomes very bored, and then becomes very sort of skittish and doesn't stick around long, and they then can become a bit of a nomad, wandering here, there and everywhere, just to keep that excitement. They need that. And what you tend to find is they do get drawn into gambling quite heavy. It's quite sad with this mixture. It's very high likelihood that they will gamble very frequently, and they will gamble everything they've got. They don't think about tomorrow, especially in that sense, because they know probably that they're streetwise enough to come across a little deal and manipulate a bit here and manipulate a bit there. So you know, they don't tend to worry in that sense of how they're going to eat tomorrow or anything like that, because they always have something up their sleeve. And they tend to find a partner quite early. But what you've got to remember, this isn't a pro-faithful sign. This isn't their core, you know, because just as they need that excitement in the brain and the mind, they do like to acquire different conquests, but not necessarily sexually, because this isn't your run-of-the-mill, hot-blooded, passionate one. They're just looking for sexual encounters. They're looking to trade things in the mind, so they can wander, but they tend to find that one faithful partner that sticks with them. And if you stick with them long enough, you can't pressure them out of this mode. You know, this is them, but you can gradually cajole and gain their confidence and gain their trust, really. That, you know, you're not there to hunt them. You're not there to, you know, lull them in at all. You know, you are going to stick by them, and that's what they tend to need to. You know, they need to find this, and they tend to find that partner quite early. And when this happens, you know, it's just patience, sticking by them. They might go off for a week or two. You might think, you know, is this over? What's going on? And then they'll come back, and they may have had an experience. And as I say, it might not necessarily be sexual, but it's been something that keeps their mind moving. They might have taken some information, they stored that away. That's going to be useful. That's going to help me out. So this is what we've got here. It is a bit, you know, a bit unusual, this combination. But then again, you know, they do marry up quite well in how they tend to survive. So you have a survivor here, one way or the other. They get to where they've got to go. And as I say, finance-wise, well, they're going to have somebody who's willing to earn as well, because you may not guarantee they're always going to have the finances, but what you will guarantee, you'll have a strong companion in the sense of somebody who's got empathy, somebody who's exciting as well. You know, there will be exciting things going on. Some people like that continual motion and that excitement, and normally I tend to like to see them with the pig years, because the pig years, they've got solidness there, they've got a lot of devotion, they also have a lot of, you know, they have a lot of patience, so they can weather these storms, and they will enjoy that that bit of mystique and that little bit of holding a bit back and the aloofness. The pig responds to that quite well. So even though the red-blooded sexual encounters may not quite match up to the pig, but they appreciate everything else around it, and they might like the changeability. So with the pig, we're going to go for the Libran pig, we're going to go for the Gemini pig, we're going to go for an Aries pig, and you can also try Sagittarius pig there. You know, all those, and that will be a decent combination, as I say, with patience. Also, the goat. The goat, you know, is a bit of a sort of bohemian type as well. So they're going to respond to what the rabbit wants to do, and they're going to do the same. But then again, you know, that's cool with the rabbit. You know, especially the Aquarius rabbit. It's like, yeah, cool. You go and find your experiences. So you could have quite a nice loose relationship, but a lot of respect there. So if we go with the goat year, and we go for the Gemini, we go for the Libran, we go for the Aries, and also the Sagittarian, excellent. What we don't want to see, and it's absolutely vital, this, rabbits and roosters don't mix, absolutely none. There's none that will save that, you know, so keep well away. That's going to be damaging for both. Maybe in friendship with the same sex, that's very possible, but not in a endeavour of being in a serious relationship, marriage, etc. Health-wise for this combination, they do have very serious problems with varicose veins, circulation problems, especially lower legs and athlete's foot, and the severe problems of that can be very, very nasty in the winter, flares up, and they can have a lot of trouble there. So a lot of care, keeping an eye on that, and also with the circulation, you know, keep as active as possible, which they will do. This is a sign actually that does like to walk about while they're thinking, keeping ever watchful, and they do quite enjoy that. Okay, so I hope, Aquarius rabbit out there, I wish you all the luck in the world, and tune in for the next episode. Thank you.